Okay, and as the music begins to fade out, we are live. Welcome to the Slam Jam Wrestling Show here on the Extreme Improv Xstreamed YouTube channel, as well as the Slam Jam Wrestling Show YouTube channel. So make sure you smash that subscribe button wherever you're watching. This is our WrestleMania special. We're going to go into everything that is happening. It's been a big, well, it's not just a big week, it is a big time in general for professional wrestling. And look, if I say it into the camera like this, professional wrestling, then everyone's going to go crazy just because you say it, professional wrestling, and now it's meant to mean something more. On the show tonight, we have an expert panel of people who are going to give all of their views on what's happening in the world of professional wrestling, as well as giving our predictions for WrestleMania, and I'm sure we'll talk about all kinds of other stuff in a gritty but light-hearted way. Say hello to the people, Dave.
Hello people, how are you doing out there? Yes, it's WrestleMania weekend, and finding that I'm probably not going to be able to stay up for much of it, because unlike a few years ago, I'm now in my mid-40s, and not really wanting to stay up all night. But there we go.
Yes, absolutely. Someone who will stay up for it, probably because by the time it starts, it'll actually be the middle of his afternoon, is Assadie. Say hello to the people.
Hello to the people. Thank you so much for having me here. What a time it is to be alive, by the way. Like, holy shit. I would be alive today than be alive anywhere else during the entire history of wrestling, by the way.
What? No, there's much better times than this. Like, we've got like one good story at the moment. Right, okay. Right, okay. And also we have Gav. Say hello to the people.
Hi guys. How you guys doing?
Yeah, good. Now, it is WrestleMania week, but there's all kinds of stuff. Like, literally, we could get into any of it. We could go straight into what we're expecting of WrestleMania and give match predictions. But what's on your mind in the world of wrestling? Obviously, AEW is still a thing, I believe, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. So, what's on anyone's mind as we kick things off here?
Oh, I just wondered if anyone had watched the CM Punk Errol Hawani interview.
As a matter of fact, I have. Right, and it was really interesting. It was interesting, and hence when I was saying professional wrestling, it was of such magnitude that AEW had to send out Edge just to say that he loves professional wrestling in AEW, just to counter it, and in the most unnecessary retaliation promo that achieved nothing, I imagine, if you've seen from Dynamite.
Did you see the box?
Was this during their entrance? Yeah, reference to Jungle Boy Jack Perry as well.
Yeah, scapegoat. I wasn't too sure if he was then talking about Brandy or Jungle Boy. So.
Wait, what did they say then?
They said something about scapegoat. We love your work.
Love your work.
What? Yeah. So why would that be Brandy?
Because like Cody actually sat down. I can't remember who he was there sitting and talking to recently. I think it was actually yesterday, and he was there saying that Brandy was made a scapegoat in AEW. Ah,
okay.
So,
wasn't Cody actually on the same like Ariel Helwani? Yeah. So he might have been on that.
On the most recent one, apparently. I've not seen it. So
well, in fairness to that, like, you know, Brandy wasn't great in AEW by the end, because
terrible.
No, like, but do you remember like when famously Cody just set himself on fire against El Ideo, right? Brandy suddenly appeared out of nowhere, stood there awkwardly, set this thing on fire, and Cody set him jump through the table. So, you know, she was used in unnecessary ways. So that's why I think people started to turn on Cody there. But yeah, no, absolutely. So CM Punk, he's kind of laid out most of it, and it's amazing with all of this talk of non-disclosures and all this. I feel like months ago, after All in London and everything, he was like, they could try to keep me under contract. But now he's back in WWE, he can pretty much say anything, because what's going to happen anyway? He's been back for a few months. If he said any of this, what are they going to do in AEW anyway? They can't suddenly say, oh, we've got to keep you under contract now.
Well, he's very clear about what he can and can't say, because obviously he's saying that some of it was NDA approved and some of it wasn't, you know, so You know, of all the things he couldn't talk about his dog and whether or not the dog was injured or not.
I know, that's absolutely insane.
The only thing he couldn't talk about was the fight backstage. I think everything else he was all okay with. And it's really weird to think that, well, not really weird, but it's quite interesting that most of the stuff that he was saying was stuff that had been reported. So, according to him, most of the stuff that was reported at the time was accurate. Which is sometimes people go on there saying, oh, and he was mostly saying, oh, the internet journalists, they don't get any of this right. But yet he was recounting the fact that he got stranded at the airport, they had to take the tube, that he had this altercation backstage. Most of this stuff that was reported at the time, that apparently is fact.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It was really weird to see, sorry, I was pointing out that Gav said, this is gold, something caved in on it. I was blurring the background.
I was going to say, it's all moving.
I thought you had an accent.
Yeah. Well, literally, Gav's mind was blown by what you were saying, Dave.
Yeah.
Right. But, like, the really interesting thing is he was like, yeah, I just choked someone out a little bit. It's like, why can you admit that and think that someone couldn't go to the police with a confession? He confessed. You know.
Do you know what, though? I don't know if you guys ever watched Busted Open.
Yeah, at times.
Yeah, so Billy Ray was actually on there, was it last night?
Yeah.
And he actually backed up what Punk said about Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
So he was there saying that he met Jungle Boy last year here in England, actually. And he was there saying, I completely agree with Punk, because Jungle Boy actually done the same thing to me. Kind of disrespected him, so...
Well, yeah, like, it doesn't surprise me. The interesting thing with Bully Ray, obviously, is that people don't necessarily always like him. So I can imagine that Jungle Boy wouldn't perhaps have had the best interaction with him either. But it's so fascinating that all of this would come up, and it's WrestleMania week. And so obviously, Punk along the way, I think he said that Triple H had encouraged him to like be more edgy, and he said that I'm still a little bit on the back foot with stuff.
Yeah.
But you can just see that, you know, true to him being the big Bret Hart fan, Punk will never let these things go. He's always going to be, you know, Jungle Boy will be his Goldberg or whatever, you know, and he'll just keep bringing up at every given opportunity to take these digs. But, okay, so, Punk will be at WrestleMania. I don't know, there's something in me that just says that he's going to end up walking out with the world title. I don't know how. I just feel like that there's more to this. Like, why is Drew McIntyre's feud with Seth Rollins more about CM Punk?
Do you know something? It might be onto something there. What if he beats up Damian Priest, takes the briefcase, cashes in?
Surely that doesn't work. That's not how contracts work, though, is it?
Fantasy booking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just assume that it's going to be some sort of situation where he gets out commentary and he accidentally dosses Seth, maybe.
Yeah.
Not that whole feud, three-way feud,
Yeah.
in SummerSlam, maybe.
I've got lots of conspiracy theories about what's going to... Well, just in general. Well, look at that. Assad, thank you for your contribution. Right, he's back. Right. Assad, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm listening.
you seem to disappear for a moment, but you're back.
No,
Okay.
I was amazed. I was amazed at the idea of Punk somehow getting involved in the match and walking out with the title. I am thinking of possibilities how that could happen actually. So I'm just doing some mental booking.
Yeah, no, like, well, if I just jump onto one of my other conspiracy theories now, what if at Wham's if we get a double turn in like the main event picture where it turns out The Rock is really on Cody's side, but it turns out Seth joins back with the Shield, and we end up like night 2 it ends up somehow where it's Seth and Roman versus Cody and The Rock. I just feel like there is a potential that at some point that will end up happening.
Do you know what?
David, I'm sorry, but this thing is already way too overbooked. So I'm saying it makes no sense to do that right at WrestleMania.
Well, okay,
That'll
so
be
but,
way too complicated.
imagine, right? It gets to this match, like it's night 1 of WrestleMania, and they're all stood there, and at a certain point, Roman just puts out his fist like this, and like Cody's like, "What's going to happen?" And Seth does it too, right? And it's like, "Oh my god!" Now Cody's stood there against 3 of them, but then The Rock just looks round, and then he walks over. and then he joins with Cody, and the whole match just changes.
Jinder comes out.
And who?
Jinder Mahal comes out.
Yes, yes. Well, look, there's all the stuff that's saying that John Cena and Stone Cold are going to come out.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that will happen. It's WrestleMania 40. Why aren't Stone Cold and John
But
Cena?
you know what you're saying about the twist there? I'm thinking of something that would turn everyone and no one will see it coming. What if Roman turns?
How would that work? He lays down finger poke of
sure.
doom.
Maybe because the boss, the final boss, keeps on putting himself up there.
Yeah.
And Roman then says, enough of this shit. And
Yeah, but he already acknowledged him as the tribal chief. Why would he do that to Roman Reigns?
Okay.
Why would he do that?
Let me just highlight something to you, right? When this kind of sums it up. So on Twitter, so here we see it's got Roman versus Cody, and then it's got the other match, the tag match. But just to sum it up, when you have it, I've got to be careful about what else is on Twitter at the moment. But when you just see it like that with the side by side, the main event literally is Cody versus The Rock. It is Cody versus The Rock. Roman, like Seth, he's just an extra. But Roman is literally unimportant.
The two champions.
Yeah.
Are unimportant.
The two champions. The main event literally should have just been Cody versus The Rock.
I was going to say, because if you notice, Raw, I think this Raw, they tried to put Roman more in the spotlight. It was like, Roman made the call to do that. Because he hasn't really been featured as such.
No.
So, the story isn't even about Roman at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Even actually had more of a speaking role as well. Because, again, Roman's always just been the little young boy to The Rock.
Yeah.
As well, so.
Here's another conspiracy theory. And what if Cody Rhodes turns on fans by laying down for Roman Reigns and just, handing over the whole thing to him? Just take it. I don't want to finish my story.
Okay, I'll pick up that baton, Assad. Here is the ultimate conspiracy theory, right? So, bang, right? Basically, Cody's going to get the title and he'll be on Dynamite on Wednesday. CM Punk is also, the idea, CM Punk, they positioned it. This has been like a 2-year plan. CM Punk will walk out with the world title. Cody Rhodes will walk out with the WWE title. They'll both be on Dynamite on Wednesday. Too sweet. It's happening, guys. Don't just look disgusted at me, guys. It's happening.
Is this to back up your theory that you've been saying about ages that the spunk thing doesn't work?
Yeah, look, Jungle Boy clearly is in cahoots. This is why they're saying scapegoat, they're referencing him. How could he be wrestling in New Japan if he's still under AEW contract? Basically, Jungle Boy is now positioning himself so he can join CM Punk in WWE. These conspiracy theories are true, guys.
Jungle Boy is controlling the whole of the wrestling narrative.
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
He's the common denominator.
You take Jungle Boy out, none of this happens.
Exactly. We'd all be watching Impact. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I've got a conspiracy theory.
Go for it.
I've got to doubt the conspiracy theory, so I've got this really mad one, okay? Go with me on this one, okay? Cody and Seth win the tag match, and then Cody and Roman have a straight one-on-one match, and Cody wins.
Never go. That is the one thing which I hope doesn't happen.
That's the one that I hope doesn't happen because if you think about it, with this whole thing, like you just said, with Cody versus Rock as being like the main sort of thing at the moment, if they did do that, and they had the tag match, and it was just Roman and Cody. That's like bringing the whole story up. It's gone right up here, and then going, we're going to bring it down here a bit.
Yeah. Like there is a chance. Well, I just think it's much more exciting as a cliffhanger that the Bloodline win. But if it's Bloodline rules, then what's stopping Cody from saying, well, here's Stone Cold? Here's Hogan? Yeah, he could bring out Hogan too.
We just had a problem with the Bloodline, bringing in Sammy, bringing in Owens, bringing in Orton, bringing in Stone Cold, bringing in every...
May I say something? I was really excited about what this whole Bloodline rules, is supposed to be. But then on Raw, I discovered that it's just basically Extreme Rules. And it's just no disqualification, basically.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about it. They ruined the whole fucking, novelty factor of it by doing that match on Raw. It made no fucking sense to do it. Like, what the fuck was that? And if it is Bloodline rules, why isn't it from the start of the match? Why do you give the people a 30-minute back and forth contest and then introduce, guys like Jimmy Uso right during the finish? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it was. It was a lesson in how to bring a crowd from really, really high up, thinking they're going to get Seth Rollins versus The Rock. Then they're like, okay, we'll bring it down a little bit. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. It's like, yeah, it could be one of those two. Nah, Solo's going to wrestle you.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I at least appreciate that they said they had Seth challenge. I want to face The Rock. Because that's an exciting idea. Imagine if they'd actually done that. Now, obviously, they're not going to do it just before Mania. But imagine if on a random Raw, it's just going to be Seth Rollins challenge. TJ should be here because he was the one saying that they were going to have Roman versus The Rock be the opener of Netflix Monday Night Raw. But maybe TJ is right. Maybe they would just have Seth challenge The Rock on Raw, and then everyone. Imagine the rating that would do by the end of the night.
Imagine the swearing.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's address that. The only thing I don't get is apparently the locker room are mad that The Rock's getting to do stuff that they're not. It's like I don't believe that for a second. But what is the thinking of having Rock dropping F-bombs and stuff like this? Where are they going with this?
We're all talking about it.
We are. But imagine if you were there with like your kids or whatever, and suddenly, how is that off-putting? Because does The Rock think his career as an actor is over? Because how can he just go back to being Maui after this?
Oh, he will. He will.
Yeah, I know he will.
He's ready to kill me.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. Let's go for it, Gav.
I was going to say, like, he's still The Rock outside of the wrestling world. He's still doing like good things, like the Make-A-Wish is still like appearing on the show.
Yeah.
He was on the Tonight Show, wasn't he?
Probably. Yeah, I imagine he's everywhere.
He's still doing all that kind of stuff anyway.
He is definitely using this to boost like his acting career. He's obviously put it a little bit on pause just to be making these appearances, but he kind of needed to because like he did Black Adam, and it didn't work out. And so now, when he came back to WWE before, it boosted him. This will do the exact same thing again, Okay, so this weekend we have a lot of wrestling. So we don't have to get into NXT. What is it? Stand and Deliver? Is it Stand and Deliver? Stand and Deliver. Yeah. We've got Stand and Deliver. We have WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2.
We have SmackDown, we have Hall of Fame.
Yes, absolutely.
Then we have NXT.
Yeah. We've got the Slammies as well at some point.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The Slam is as well as the Hall of Fame.
On night 2.
Wow.
Morning of night 2.
That's insane.
When is it, sorry?
So we have WrestleMania SmackDown, we have WrestleMania Hall of Fame, and then we have WrestleMania NXT Stand and Deliver. Then we have WrestleMania Night 1. Then we have WrestleMania Slammy Awards. We have WrestleMania Night 2. Then we have WrestleMania Monday Night Raw. And then we have WrestleMania SmackDown Backlash.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
That's not to mention all the indie shows are all.
Well, I was trying to find are Impact's doing anything? Is AEW running Collision on Saturday? I imagine so.
Yes, they are running Collision. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, they probably already taped that. I wonder what... Oh, no, they might not have taped it, actually. Are they doing it live? That's crazy if so.
Well, do you want to see some of the other shows that are also happening this weekend? So they've already done... Did anyone watch WWE Speed? It won't take you long. It's only 3 minutes.
No, I've seen a tiny bit of it, not even a minute. But
I've done it for the last 8 years. I've watched WWE in 3 minutes on YouTube highlights. So I've done it pretty much the last 7 years.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got today. Thursday, 4th. Yeah. So today you've got Dynamite has already happened, obviously. Yesterday apparently we had Mike Bailey's Fightertainment spectacle as well, something like that. In about. What is the time now? About half an hour, first proper show's going to start with Defy Wrestling to be on Triller. Then you've got what else have we got here? We've got Stardom, American Dream as well. We've got Josh Barnett's Bloodsport on Triller as well. That's going to be good. The March Hitchcock Memorial Special on WrestleCon streaming on High Spots. This is all in the next 24 hours.
Jesus. Where are you getting this list, Dave? Where are you getting this list? Where are you getting the
I'm
list?
getting this down online.
Oh, okay.
Actually, streaming down online. You got the DDT Japanese promotion doing the Philadelphia show on Triller. You've got GCW doing tons of shows as usual, including the Georgian Spring Break, that sort of stuff. Got Progress Wrestling doing the show as well. There's just tons. You've got, oh my God, Pat McAfee with Paul Levesque, is it?
Yeah.
On Friday night. You've got Ring of Honor Supercard show, and you've got WrestleMania Kickoff or something like that. There's so much stuff in here.
I'm surprised there's no local Paul Impulsive. No?
I don't
I'm
know.
surprised that's not even up there.
Yeah,
You'd have
so
thought you would have done a show, but yeah.
Dave, can you check if the WrestleMania pre-show is going to be 2 hours or 1 hour?
Let's have a look. So we've got Stand and Deliver, which is like I think in the States it's like 8 a.m. Eastern or Western time or what, Pacific time or something like that. Very, very early to Stand and Deliver. Then you've got Stand and Deliver Night 1 Countdown show. Okay, the Night 1 Countdown show. So it says that Night 1 starts at 5 a.m. on this particular schedule, and it says the Countdown show starts at 5? No, that can't be right. No, it's 1 till 3. Okay, the Countdown is 2 hours.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
right.
2 hours, and the WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 are both slotted for 4 hours.
Wow, so basically WrestleMania is going to start at 2:30 a.m. in India, and it's going to end at 10:30 a.m. in India. Holy
That's
shit.
crazy.
Countdown.
Including the 2 hours of the pre-show.
Yeah.
They don't do anything for it anymore. The Battle Royale's happening on SmackDown, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering if there's a women's battle royal as well.
I haven't heard that there is. I haven't heard.
Well,
Should do. We won one night, one this night.
exactly.
Sadly, there is no Andrea the Giant.
No, but they should. Wasn't it the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was. And they went, okay, it's just a women's battle royal now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. So okay, let's get into some of the predictions. We can come back to like NXT, but let's go to the big show. Let's go to WrestleMania. I'll go through the matches. We can give some thoughts and predictions. Right.
Oh, by the way, right before we do the predictions, like, can we do what the order of the matches is going to be, like, only the really important stuff?
That's been leaked, Assad. It's been leaked.
That's been done? Wow, tell me about it.
Yeah, tell us.
Well, we can go in order if you want to do the predictions. We'll go in order.
Is it the same as that I'm going to have on Wikipedia?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So, right, WrestleMania 40 match order has been revealed. So WrestleTalk have it on their site 2 days ago. Apparently, it got leaked. So yeah. So Saturday.
It could also be fake, right? It could also be fake, right?
It could also be fake, but it's apparently the leaked cards. They could change it. So Saturday, night 1 is starting with Ripley versus Becky.
Yeah. Then is it Gunther versus Sammy next? No.
We've got the ladder match next.
Okay. Well. Anyway, look.
Let's go with the
Let's just go with what I've got here because I can bring it up at times if we need to. So we have Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, singles match for the Women's World Championship. Predictions for this, because I'll be honest, I just want Rhea to win.
I also want Rhea to win.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the long title reigns. Obviously Roman, obviously Gunther, and Rhea Ripley. She'll have been champion for a year, I believe. So depending what day Mania was, but effectively a year. There's no reason to take it off her. Like, I don't like Becky Lynch anymore, so I want Rhea to
You're
keep
not
it.
the only one, I think, in the world. Because I think, just judging by everything online, I think a lot of people have gone off of her a little bit.
I've so gone off of her. Well, it's because she acts. I don't like her character. It's just like, I'm really tough, and I'm going to prove I'm really tough by pulling a mean face. And that's it. And that's been all she's been. Like, when she was that character, being like, and I'm the underdog that people don't believe in. But now she needs something different. I'm fed up of it. I'm fed up with the same attitude.
she
What would you
needs to
prefer?
evolve now. Like, that character's gone a bit stale,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Whereas, like, as we saw from a recent house show, Rhea is doing things to keep it fresh. You know, so
You're never going to get on television. So, yeah,
Netflix, baby.
Netflix
Exactly.
maybe, yeah, Netflix maybe.
yeah.
but if you think the character is stale now, would you prefer her as she is now with doing the man stuff, or would you prefer Big Time Next, which I was not a fan of?
Neither. Like, she tried to look, and that's the problem. She went from like I'm gonna prove it because I've got the fight and I'm the underdog and stuff like that. It didn't when she was then champion, and then she went and got pregnant. Ugh, imagine, and had to like give up the title during the
Worst thing.
Yeah, I know. How could she do that to us, right? But then she came back.
Especially,
No, go on, Assad.
no, it's okay, continue.
I was going to say, and then she came back and transitioned into a heel, and it didn't massively work for me. But now I sort of feel like I don't really know what she's meant to be about or represent anymore. Because also they'll have the on again, off again, acknowledging that she's married to Seth, and there's like almost no interaction, or I just don't know what she's meant to be in this roster anymore. I'm less interested in her. I'm still interested in Rhea, and I say that, but I didn't used to like Rhea that much. But everything that's happened with the bloodline, not the bloodline, with the Judgment Day, like her character, and I think they need to keep doing more stuff with her and Dominic Mysterio, which at times they've lessened.
Do you know what? I think that's kind of faded off since the Elimination Chamber. And because the thing is, I think they had to do that because Rhea was more of the babyface over in her own country. So they had to separate the two at that point.
Yeah, good point.
Now everyone knows that Dominic's just got married as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of illusion's gone.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, how do you put the genie back in the bottle? Okay.
I have a question. Like, is there a women's like Money in the Bank holder?
Yeah. Damien Priest.
No, the women.
No.
Oh, women. Sorry. No.
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah, Sky cashed in.
Yeah. That was a while back.
Oh.
But so
like, who's the Raw Women's like champion now?
Rhea.
And SmackDown Women's champion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so Bailey is battling her then. Okay, got it.
yeah. Good to know you've been keeping up on all of the matches, Assad.
I was going to say, I know that obviously the internet audience, obviously we've learned CM Punk reviews that the internet audience is different from the mainstream. But I will say that for all the faults that of saying about Becky and most of them, I agree with in terms of sort of staleness. But I will say the reactions they've been getting with their interactions on TV working up to this match have been better than I thought they would be. And
the last couple of weeks.
Pretty well. The guys have been really going for it, especially in the if I saw from the last one where they're trying to separate them and end up battling and all that sort of stuff, doing the crowd brawls and things. Simple stuff like that is working. So I think this will be a good match, but I do agree. I think
it was again, like to your point there. I think it was a bit messy at the beginning stage of it because Nia was involved, and then Liv Morgan as well.
Yeah.
So you didn't even know it was going to go to a 4-way match, or.
Well, because here's the interesting thing: you have Bailey win a Royal Rumble, and obviously she's going to be in the mix with Io, and the real interest was with Rhea. So you haven't had the Royal Rumble winner going after the most interesting champion, and on the Bailey side of things, she won the Royal Rumble, and it's to me it's like when Sheamus won the Royal Rumble years ago. It was kind of like, oh, okay, so they gave the person who they wanted to give a win to, but it wasn't the main event. And I think whether they talk about, okay, WrestleMania's got 2 main events, and obviously a couple of times they've had women's matches, main event WrestleMania. Were they going to have a women's match main event this year was, I don't think, ever part of the conversation. Last year, I think with Rhea and Charlotte, they said we felt robbed that we weren't the main event, and fair play, their match was incredibly good. I just don't think this was ever. I don't think there's people campaigning that it should be Rhea and Becky main eventing one of the nights, and Io and Bayley main eventing is, frankly, it's just ridiculous. It would never happen with what else is going on at the moment, and so it's just a shame, because if they had made it Bayley Royal Rumble winner, then you've got a storyline that's going to go up to WrestleMania. But just what was happening with Damage Control over the last however long, it was not a main event story, frankly.
Yeah. I think, like, if it had been Rhea versus, like, a Bianca, that could have been a main event. I don't know, like, again, I think the allure of, and I actually do like Becky, but, like, her star power's gone down for me.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but...
I mean, one of the big challenges with the women's division is, and it's going back to whole like women's revolution and stuff like this, is that at times they'll really push it, and then at times they'll just be like no, and then they'll push it, and then they'll no, and so it's hard for it to ever remain up there, and that's why Rhea, obviously being a world champion for a year now, and being with Judgment Day, and you think all of her involvement with Judgment Day isn't really about the women's division, but it's put her front and center, and she is the biggest star out of the Judgment Day, easily. Yeah. Easily. Like I think, wasn't the idea that Finn, when he came in to the Judgment Day and they got rid of Edge from it, that he was meant to be coming in as the leader, and Finn is like the weakest member of that in terms of character. Exactly.
Yeah, apart from JD, but yeah.
Well, yeah, true. I forgot he was even in it, if I'm honest. But okay, so let's give our picks for that.
What about Tom and Nick? What
yeah. Oh my god, like, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, I was going to say they're in the tag match, aren't they? Okay, so Rhea or Becky? Dave, who are you saying?
Rhea.
Gav?
Rhea.
Assad?
Rhea.
And that's unanimous, I'm saying Rhea as well. Let's go on to the tag team match, speaking of the Judgment Day and Dom and Nick, etc. So we have the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus the Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth versus the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus A-Town Down Under, terrible name, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller versus New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. What a thing. What a mouthful.
Yours, Dave.
So, there's a thing I read the other day, and I haven't seen it since, so I don't know if it's how legit this is, but there was some reports saying that this match, there was a thing on the Meltzer's report saying that both sets of belts have to be pulled down.
Yes.
So, there is a theory going around that maybe two teams will win. But one team will win the Raw straps and one team will win the SmackDown straps. But if we're discounting that and we're going with the whole thing, I think that's actually a very strong case for A-Town Down Under.
Really? What's the case for them?
Irritating pricks, and them winning would cause a massive meltdown. But if it's just one set of belts going down, I think it's got to be true for Miz.
Well, yeah, like, that's been really the story. Like, as much as they try to make Johnny Gargano a thing and Ciampa, like, I don't feel invested in them on the main roster still.
Well, here's my theory on that. So my theory is that they do win, the Miz and Truth win the ladder match, and the next night on Raw they lose to a newly turned heel DIY.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
They're doing the story with Candice. Candice Ray's gone heel. She's a bit of an ass to people on there. She's trying to coax, what's her name? Indy.
Indy Hartwell.
On that way, and it seemed after their loss that she seems to be going that way as well. So they could be doing this whole new stable with them all being baddies. So that's my theory.
Yeah.
Question. What happens if, even if it's like a joke or something, but R-Truth, happens to pull one red belt and one blue belt? Okay, so What happens then?
Oh, then they've won both belts.
Yes.
Yeah, they've
What
won.
belts?
Yeah, they've won both sets of belts.
How exactly? But he's only pulled one
no,
belt.
like because Wham's if you had Damian Priest pull down a red belt and Johnny Gargano pull down a red belt, they're not suddenly a team.
Yeah, it's just the weird thing. I kind of agree with
Exactly.
myself.
That's what I was thinking. Like if multiple team players pull out some really different color belts, like what happens? Like Gargano and Miz are now champions. Then
I
Can you
mean,
imagine the winning announcement there if that happened with something like that? So like
Yeah.
the winners of this match. Still tag team champion Damian Priest and new tag team champion Johnny Gargano.
yeah.
That'd be crazy.
I tell you what though, if they ever had a situation where tag titles are like vacant, they could have like random people in a ladder match, and whoever the first two wrestlers to get both belts are now the champions, whether they're a team or not. That would be quite fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Okay, so
by the way, this is a tornado match, right?
Yeah.
Ladder match.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a ladder match, so no tagging in. What it means is that 8 of them are going to be laying on the mat, laying outside the ring for like 40 minutes, whilst 2 of them at a time are doing like flying moves.
Holding the ladder up so that like a Shelton Benjamin run.
Yeah.
Oh, just by the way, this is factually true that even the ladder match is bloodline rules.
It's true. Yeah. Okay, so who are we saying is going to win
Solo and
that?
Jimmy can get in there and get it.
We'll go around the other direction. Assad, who are you saying is winning this tag team 6-pack tag team ladder match?
Oh, damn. I think there's going to be a comedy bit, and for sure Arthur and Miz are going to win the title. One at least. That's what I'm really thinking.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I think Judgment Day is also going to retain
I
at
hope.
the same time.
I kind of hope so, but I don't think they will. Gav.
See, I'm a bit torn because of like Dave's theory. Part of me is
As long as it's Dave theory and not Austin theory, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Part of me is they're thinking New Day because they haven't won a tag match at WrestleMania before. So
Is that
people
true?
Going on hard on that, yeah.
Wow.
If he's the only one that's actually won at WrestleMania.
Hey, like, what about that match where they actually popped out of the breakfast cereal? I think they won it there.
No, I don't think they did.
Wow.
They're actually winners, I think. That's right. Apart from Kofi equals winning a WrestleMania winning title.
Yeah.
Right?
They were the hosts of WrestleMania. They could have written themselves into the title match and actually won. And yet they did not win.
Well, they had the Hardys come out for that one, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, the Hardys could also get involved in this, just by the way.
Well, there was the whole thing. Matt Hardy was watching Raw with a ticket or whatever a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago, and then he's just done an interview where he was kind of like, there's so much where the AEW, like, where is Daniel Bryan and his committee of like, what is it, discipline committee, right?
Yeah, discipline committee.
Because like Matt Hardy's doing interviews where he's saying like, yeah, we don't want to be somewhere where we're not being used. We have to win a few matches so that when people beat us, it means something. It's like, how are they getting away with this? And the fact that he was like at Raw in the audience taking photos with fans.
again, going to CM Punk's part, you can do that if you haven't got a boss.
Yeah, but there's no rule that no wrestler can ever attend a rival company's show as a fan.
Who was that? Like that Highlander or whatever.
Highlander.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he turned up at TNA.
Look who's here. Look at this WWE superstars over here.
They fired him.
Even Bailey attended the Mercedes Moné's debut, so I don't think nobody, disciplined her for it.
No, but like the whole point was they made a thing of the fact that she turned up in a balaclava and she was there to support a friend, and her and Sasha went to Naomi's title win in Impact. So
Like, it happens a lot anyway, because like even MJF and what's his name, Ricky Starks, they've been to Raw to see Cody. So,
I know that Ricky Starks was at WrestleMania last year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, fair enough. Gav, who you?
Superstar Billy Graham was there at Sting's final match in a wheelchair. So I don't think anybody disciplined him either.
Wait, Superstar Billy Graham, you sure about that?
Right.
Oh,
Did you say Superstar Billy Graham? Did he die?
Superstar Billy Graham, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
No, yeah, he died.
Oh no, I'm confusing him with someone else. What
You
the
thinking
fuck?
of...
Oh, Lex Luger.
Lex Luger, yes.
Wait, how are you muddling Superstar Billy Graham and Lex Luger up?
Oh my god, I just completely had a brain fart over that. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's okay.
He was there in a wheelchair. I thought he's not dead yet, and the name that I wanted to say was that, and this is what came to mind. Holy fuck! But yeah, I need the discipline. Sorry, guys, I need the discipline.
No, it's okay. Daniel Bryan will be speaking with you shortly. But, Gav, who are you picking for the tag title match?
I'm going to go New Day.
Wow, okay. Dave, who are you picking? Miz and R-Truth. Yeah, I absolutely think the whole storyline. This is in place of them doing the Battle Royal on Mania just to get more people on the card. But the whole storyline is Judgment Day and Awesome Truth.
I'll also put another thing, just caveat my previous thing about Theory and Waller winning as well, because this whole story came out that apparently they weren't on the run sheet, and there's a story that they could end up being taken out of it or something like that. Something to do with this video that you think you go in the road chat with this bodybuilder guy. But I think either way, I'm pretty sure Judgment Day are losing the titles, whatever happens here, because that gives Priest a reason to cash in the next night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
Oh my god, yeah, it's unfortunate for Damian Priest. We'll obviously get to the world titles later on, but
It's not a good time for Damien Priest to be alive, guys. It's only a good time for us to be alive.
yeah, exactly. Okay,
It's a great time for him to be alive. You're going to end up being a big, massive headliner out of this.
I think so.
Maybe, yeah.
yeah. Okay, do you know, if I was Damian Priest, I would genuinely say, what I would genuinely say to them is I'd be like, look, are you going to have me beat Cody or Roman and be champion? They'd say no. I'd say, are you going to have me beat Seth or Drew or CM Punk or whoever's champion? And if they're like, no, I'd say, well then, do me this one favour. Let me try to cash in on Roman and Cody. Let me get beaten or whatever, knocked out. That way I can say I've main evented Mania, and then I'll go and get back in queue, you know.
Thank you. If I was Damien Priest, I would just bend the knee and I'm like, it's not my place right now. I would stay the fuck away and just, let the other guys do their thing, because I have another 6 months, until I can cash in. So,
You know what?
I
was going to keep this for later on, but he's being booked to be champion anyway right now. If you notice, he's been booked so strong the last couple of months.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so I think something's coming up.
Well, hang on. When was Money in the Bank last year? Wasn't it like June?
Yeah.
Money in the Bank 2023 was July 1st. He has a little while. Yeah.
He has 2 months. Oh, guys, how about this? Okay, here's a crazy, thing. What if he actually cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase at the upcoming Money in the Bank ladder match to increase his, thing by another year?
Wait, so he's going to cash in on the...
He's cashing in on the Money in the Bank ladder match itself.
Yeah.
So to do that, he would have to make sure that the title match has been booked before the ladder match. Because he only has until that ladder match is finished in order to cash in.
Yeah.
So he can
So he's actually cashing in on the ladder match when there is like one briefcase up there, and he's going up there and grabbing the other briefcase, and he's winning it.
He's cashing in to be a part of another match.
Yes, he's cashing in to be
He's cashing in on the ladder match. So he's going to pin
on the ladder match itself. Yes.
Do you know what would also be great one time? Is if they just did a title change and it just wasn't on television. Where, like, Damian Priest just came out on Raw one week and he's just world champion. And everyone's like, what happened? It's like, well, I cashed in on Cody or whoever the champion is at the hotel. Dominic was meant to film it. Yeah, of course you can. He can cash in anywhere, anywhere.
But it's not a 24/7 time.
Yeah, look, it's literally like the 24/7 championship because because if you can when Edge cashed in on John Cena, he had literally just won like a Hell in the Cell.
But in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, that's the only thing. The guy was dead in the ring and he came in and pinned him. That's usually what happens. Why do they have to be in a ring for it to count? Because no, Rob Van Dam cashed in an announced match against Cena, and it was ECW rules. So he just needs to cash in a anywhere Falls Count Anywhere match. They could do this.
ECW rules, otherwise known as Bloodline rules.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bloodline rules match. Okay, let's.
I thought you said Bloodline rules. I thought,
Bloodline.
How do you have a match to that song?
Oh, who sung that song? Is that like Bruno Mars or someone? Who was that?
No, it was.
I forget his name entirely.
I've got a guy who's a piece of shit, so let's move on.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Good song, though. Good song. Okay. Well, I don't know. I remember it was a thing. Now, anyway, next up we have Yeet versus No Yeet. And I am 100% saying Jimmy Uso is winning.
Same.
Yes.
Same here.
He has to win. He has got to win this. Because if the bloodline is losing and Roman's... Look, this whole thing a week ago about, Roman was going to retire, which is weird, but in a sense would kind of make sense, and Assad's gone again, right? But if Roman potentially was retiring or isn't going to be in it much more anymore, then Solo and Jimmy, they're going to be completely floating. And so Jimmy needs to win this, otherwise he is just Janetti.
I had a theory on it, and I don't know if it'll work. I somehow see the Usos getting back together.
At some point, but at WrestleMania?
But, like, that's what I'm wondering, whether that's the night that Jay goes back and helps the bloodline or not. But the thing is because he's doing really well for merchandise at the moment, isn't he? So,
Yeah.
you kind of want to spoil that, really, and just have a good run.
The thing about that is that I could imagine at a WrestleMania, not this one though, at a WrestleMania, Jimmy and Jay are in a situation, whether or not they've just wrestled and someone wins, and it's kind of like Cody and Dustin at the first Double or Nothing, where they sort of like, one's beaten, the other stands up, they shake hands, they hug, they celebrate, confetti comes down, and it's like Eddie and Benoit and that kind of like vibe. They could absolutely do that and those two reunite. But how can they do that when later the same night it's going to be Rock and Roman?
Then that'll be the question of the night. Well, what happens next, kind of thing.
But I feel like it'll be instantly overshadowed. Or can you imagine the Rock and Roman saying, "Wait, so we're about to have this match, and everyone's now going to be asking about Jimmy and Jay"?
But that's the thing. Because then it'll be like, you know, the Rock will come with, "What the f just happened there?
Yeah.
You need to sort this out," kind of thing, or
I don't
or
know.
whatever. Sorry.
I do have a genuine question though. What exactly is this win for Jey Uso is going to benefit him in any way? How exactly?
It won't. It'll only benefit Jimmy.
Exactly. So why not give the win to Jimmy?
They should. Yeah.
They absolutely should give the win to Jimmy, and there's more reason if Jimmy wins, there's more reason for the bloodline to be stronger going into the main events.
Yes. Yeah.
And when the tables are turned, then Jay can have that heat back on him again.
Yeah, it's crazy. Solo doesn't have a match at Mania.
Yeah, but what I was going to ask is, what was the two brother matches? It was player Matt and Jeff.
Matt and Jeff, and there was one at WrestleMania -20 as well.
But also Undertaker versus Kane. You always forget this one, guys.
Matt won that match.
So, yeah, this is the thing, Gab. I was going to say the same thing, because I think we said this in a group chat, that we've had 15 years apart of each time. So WrestleMania 10, Brett and Owen the heel won. 15 years later, Jeff versus Matt the heel won. 15 years later,
Exactly. Yeah.
He's got to keep the algorithm going. That's what I'm saying there.
Oh my God, can we predict what's going to happen at WrestleMania 55? Like which brother?
We can barely predict what's happening at this one, let alone. let alone 15
Like,
years.
are there any brothers? Are there any brothers like apart from the Usos these days, like real brothers?
Well, probably.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Just what's it? Brutus and what's his
Oh,
name?
Julius and Brutus Creed.
oh yeah.
I think they're Venom brothers.
Oh,
Oh, they're not real.
I don't think so.
are they not real? Real, bro. I know what you mean. Just like, are they not real? Right. Okay. So I think we all said that Jimmy should win this. Then we have Bianca, Jade, and Naomi versus Damage Control. So who do we think is winning this? Any thoughts on it at all, Dave?
First of all, my mistake. Three brothers are tribute brothers. Sorry, what match is it? The trio match.
Yeah. The 6-woman tag match.
Yeah, I think after that run-in from Jade last week, it would be a real shame if they didn't just leave her to have a hot tag, literally, and go in there, destroy them all the same way she did on SmackDown and win it. That'd be a ridiculous way to debut somebody in an initial match. And you could have Naomi and Bianca do the lion's share of the work, keep Jade out there for a little while, because I think we've seen Jade in a lot of matches on her own. It's not the best thing in the world, but so you just come down to that and have them have a win. There's no doubt that Jade is probably getting pinfall.
Yeah. Okay, where are we going with this? Because Jade being like aligned with Bianca and Naomi is fine at the beginning here, but she needs to be a solo star. And at a certain point, potentially even in this Mania, because like if that team wins, who does Jade wrestle next? I think Naomi or Bianca are a good option for Jade next.
Why does it have to be next though? Why can't it be somewhere to Why can't it be Jade?
Well,
why can't it be Jade and Bianca in
SummerSlam? Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. But then something could happen. Jade and Naomi end up feuding. Bianca's in between them, and then
Whoa.
yeah, go on.
I'm all for the slow burn. You know what? Triple H is now taking over. It's not Vince anymore.
True.
And like Triple H is like a student of the game or whatnot. I think he'll let it burn and reach a boiling point.
No, Triple H is the game, Gav. You got it wrong.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But okay, so again, what happens? I know this is jumping to the next night, but in terms of Damage Control, if they're losing here, and then with night 2, Io and Bailey.
Is it night 2? I thought you and Bailey were on night 1.
I've got it listed as not, but well, go with what you've got. So what they're doing? All the women's matches on the first night.
I was going to say, I thought my two films are
I
real.
got that wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mistake.
But just because in the same sense that we're saying about Jimmy and Jay, and then what's happening with the Bloodline, and the same actually with Rhea, and then Judgment Day. That's all like that one is a bit more separate. But Jimmy and Jay and the Bloodline, and obviously the Damage Control storylines, all kind of will tie in, and so what happens in one match might affect what happens with the other.
I was saying it's a bad weekend for Damage Control. They just lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still got the women's tag the tag titles on.
Yeah.
They've still got those. Commanding a hold on theirs. I think it's a bit of a shame that they haven't really. I know we're jumping the gun to Bailey and Io, but it's like I said earlier, it's not necessarily a main event storyline, but they also they did reach that sort of point of which side of Dakota on, like, they settled that quite early on. I thought it was a bit of a shame they settled that so quickly. Because and I've not been watching SmackDown recently, so I don't really know what's been going on in terms of build up to that, but it seems they did the turn there, and it's been sort of Bailey on her own, and it's then segued into this trios match because Bianca's been like, no, I don't. From what I can tell, it's a case of her going, Bailey deserves this because she's done such horrible things, and Naomi going, well, just give her a chance, blah blah blah. So it's as far as the story goes, I don't know, but I could just see this whole weekend as being the weekend that Damage Control just lose, and they lose the women's title with Bailey taking it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So who are we saying? Is anyone not saying Bianca, Jade, and Naomi are winning? Anyone going against that? No damage control. Okay. Then we have the Latino World Order: Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. So basically, it's the rematch a year later with some extras thrown in.
I'm just going to say this. I want to beat Ray's friend. Yeah, Carlito stand in the ring with me.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm Dragon Lee.
Well, yeah.
He's like, huh?
I don't understand why this couldn't have been a really big 10 or 12 person tag. This could have been really good. Because we could have had this version of Dragon Lee being in this. You could have had Ray, Dragon Lee, Carlito, and Joaquin and Roll. And you could have had Zelina in there. And you could have had them again. Andrade could have been brought into this. Dominic could have brought in Caspian. And you have Santos, Angel, and Humberto, and Electra. Because these are 12-person tag that would have been absolutely brilliant.
Well, yeah, but you've already got like you've already got a 12-man tag team.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it, Jay.
I know, but this one would have been so much better.
Yeah. But
Lucha match than see where they go street fight, which is going to be like tables and candlesticks.
it's difficult. I think obviously they've now got 2 nights of WrestleMania, but it's difficult because it's like how long do you give that match? Like with the lineup you've just said, that's a 30-minute match, and they'll probably give it. It's a 30-minute match if you're going to give everyone time to shine, but instead,
I'll be over in 8 minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes. Whereas when you think last year, if we look last year, how long did Ray and Dominic go? Because let's bring it up. It wasn't a short match, as best I remember. Let's see if I've got it.
The other thing is, you've got another big match as well on the card. So, well, it hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah, 14 minutes 55, just Dominic and Ray last year. So.
I mean, it's not been out of the possibility for them to do a big multi-man and have it go like 3 or 4 minutes. Have that happen.
Well, that's more for WWE speed.
Have they announced Lashley and the Street Profits?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Gav, who are you going for? Ray and Lee or Santos and Dirty Dom?
I'm going to go Dirty Dom.
Yeah. Assad.
It probably won't happen, but I want to win.
Yeah. Assad, are you still here even?
He won't make it to that fight.
Okay, Dave, who are you going for?
I am going, let's see what I've got there. I am going, I've forgotten this match entirely. I'm going with Ray and Dragon Lee because of the amount of feels like everything else elsewhere.
Yeah. I am saying Dominic Mysterio. He cannot win against Ray 2 years in a row at Mania. Dom has to win this, basically. Okay, and then we have the Bloodline, The Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth freaking Rollins. And my first prediction for this is that there is going to be an hour of the show left when they start intros for this match.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long one.
It's going to be a long one, and both Cody and Roman are going to get injured in it and not be able to wrestle at the next night.
And The Rock gets blown up.
Yeah, The Rock's going to be blown up really quickly. This has been a blessing in disguise for The Rock, that he doesn't have to come back and wrestle a singles WrestleMania main event. You know.
Yeah.
He did some decent bumping for Cody on the brawl on the being head thrown into the table or sort of like flinging his legs up in the air.
Yeah.
He's doing
But he's always been great at selling, so...
Yeah, the series' last match was a 6-second match against Rowan, wasn't it? It's not really a massive worry that's not coming back.
I'm surprised they haven't brought in Rowan just to, like, I was your last WrestleMania opponent in the match they want to forget.
Well, he could come out during the brawl and say, let's sell this again. Come on, you caught me off guard last time.
Do you know, just to stick on Rowan for a second, obviously the Hall of Fame, they're not inducting Bray this year. We can get onto the Hall of Fame soon. but they're not inducting Bray. Obviously, IRS is going in again, or maybe the first time, I'm not sure. But in terms of Rowan, if they were, or if and when, or more when they are going to induct Bray, I think we'll probably get Rowan and Braun more involved then. But I just think like Rowan's in this position where, because like when Bray died, I think he was on WWE TV on Raw that week, like just like sort of stood there with him and Braun either side of like Triple H, and LA Knight was right in the middle at the time and stuff like this. And I just feel like with Eric Rowan, he's just too attached to sadness for them to bring him back before any Hall of Fame inductions could potentially happen. Because, you know, that's kind of, you just associate him to tagging with Brody and being part of the Wyatt family. So, my slight prediction on that, I think next year WWE are going to induct Bray and Brody Lee the same year.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I was listening to something not too long ago, and I think it was a case where Bray's dad, IRS, he was sitting down talking to, I think it was Bill Apter, and I think it's a bit too soon for the family to deal with it.
Yeah.
With Ray going in this year. So he's just saying it gives them a chance to still
it's been the interesting thing over the years, like Eddie died and then I think it was like the same, or like the next year he went straight in, and like, and obviously he didn't die, but like Edge had to retire and then they put him straight in the Hall of Fame, and they've done this kind of thing a bunch of times where as soon as someone's either passed away or been forced to retire, they make them a Hall of Famer straight away. And obviously, you don't want it to suddenly seem like, oh, it's disrespectful to Bray that they've not inducted him. But in one sense, I don't mind there being a little bit of a gap in between, because otherwise, because we know his induction is going to happen. And it just means that, oh, he died a few months ago, and now he's inducted, and then his story is like over. Whereas there was just that documentary, which I haven't seen, but it was like shown that at the end of it, they've teased Uncle Howdy coming back. And so... Uncle Howdy coming back, Bo Dallas, you know, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, because I've never truly believed. I'm sorry, Bo Dallas, I've never truly believed in you. But if they're able to do something with that story, they could perhaps bring in Rowan in it, or whoever the Wyndham Six were going to be, because we've never really, like, when is Alexa Bliss due to be coming back? I'm sure there is a way where they could get all of these Wyatt adjacent people into like a good storyline, or at least a respectful one, and make it run a year into an induction, and then if any of it continues thereafter, then great. But if not, then you know that'd be a fitting end to it.
I don't know if I want to see that though. It seems a bit weird to then carry on a storyline with someone who can't contribute to it.
Well, but like for Bo Dallas, him being brought back to be Uncle Howdy, I think there was a little bit of excitement, or at least like Bo Dallas being given that gimmick and not being brought into the Wyatt family was kind of putting him into a position not to succeed those number of years ago. And so finally bringing him into the Wyatt storyline, it was obviously over before it started, because Bray got injured, or wasn't injured, he was sick, or whatever caused him to have to drop out of WrestleMania last year. And so then Bo Dallas Uncle Howdy, everything with that, he didn't get a chance to do it. I'm sure there is a way to do something that's respectful, and something, you know, he doesn't necessarily have to be a world champion or something, but just not. It would be a real shame if Bray just died and that was the end of his career as well, because he's his own guy. He was like NXT champion and stuff. Not that I was a massive fan of him, but I think he was. You'll probably remember his presentation in NXT worked better than his presentation on the main roster.
Yeah, it was never presented as an on-screen Bray.
Yeah, but everyone knew.
Yeah, well, certainly. This is the thing. Again, CM Punk making it very aware that internet crowds are not necessarily the same as mainstream. Some people in the mainstream probably didn't know that.
Yeah, fair play, fair play. Okay, Dave, we're dropping like flies. Assad, are you still with us?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Assad, feel free to jump in. This is the problem with you being naked right now and us not being able to see you. Is that, like, we don't know when to give space for you to speak. Assad, what's on your mind here? Tell us things, Assad.
I mean, I wasn't here when you were talking about the other matches after. Like, what happened after the J and Jimmy match?
What?
Yeah, this is a massive tangent we've gone on from Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth.
Okay, so
Roman once and suddenly talking about Ray.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so very quickly, if you haven't given your predictions, Assad, Bianca, Jade, and Naomi versus Damage Control. Who are you picking?
For that match, I think it's going to be the Jade team, Jade, Naomi, and Bianca Belair, for sure, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Jade lost in her debut at the Royal Rumble, so she wins at WrestleMania, I think. So there's no two ways about it,
Yeah. Okay, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar.
That's for sure Dominic and Escobar.
Okay, cool. So with that, Assad, we've pretty much caught you up here. But let's get into everything. Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth. I've already told you my conspiracy theory, guys. It's just going to be like this at the beginning. Cody's going to look. Seth is going to reach. The Shield will reform. And then The Rock something's going to happen. And The Rock will be like, you didn't tell me about this. Sorry, I'm just going over my whole shtick again. I shouldn't. Right. What's anyone else's thoughts?
The problem with your fantasy, conspiracy thing is that
It's not my fantasy, Assad. There's a difference.
Beat the living hell out of Cody, and they made him a bloody mess, and he involved his mom and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna go babyface like immediately. And Cody's like, "Hey, cool for beating me up and mentioning my mom so many times," and everything's fine, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there was the rumours for a long time that they were going to justify The Rock whispering to Cody that first time. When
the refereeing thing clearly says that I'm going to make you bleed.
No, I meant the first time. So when Cody sort of was like crying, is like, "Oh, I'm going to step aside. I just won't fight you at Mania, Roman." Rock whispered to him. Cody gave his sad smile and then stole The Rock's main event because he can't help but cry at every opportunity. Like, I swear, wrestling fans nowadays are such, like, they're so wet compared to what they used to be. That literally, Cody just crying, and, like, I agree with Dwayne. There's a crybabies. When's he going to finish his story? That's literally what happened. It is actually what happened.
So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, okay? For sure, I think, okay, this is what I personally think. I think that Cody Rhodes and Rollins, they are going to absolutely win, on night one, okay? They are going to win on night one. And here's what's going to happen. Since The Rock is the final boss, okay, he's going to go with the dusty finish, okay? The dusty finish, guys, he's going to change the outcome of the match entirely, and he's going to hand himself the win, and it's going to be Bloodline rules anyway. That's what I feel.
Yeah. Wait.
I just feel that they should do a dusty finish because Cody Rhodes is involved. That's what I personally feel. And it also gives a clear way for Cody to win in a clean way against Roman. So I don't know. He's probably not winning in a clean way, so I'm not sure.
But how are they going to get to reversing the decision?
Because Rock is the final boss, he can make like anything possible.
Well, true. So what they're going to be like? So The Rock's going to get pinned, and he's going to be on night two. He'll be like, "My foot was under the rope."
Yeah, Cody Rhodes is going to pin The Rock. Rollins and Cody are going to win. They'll be celebrating, and then The Rock is going to pick up the mic and he's like, no. And then he's going to call the finish that we have actually won as one of the Bloodline rules.
What, he's going to be like, we won by disqualification because, or something terrible.
We won because I said I won. Shut your mouth and enjoy the ride.
Look, here's the other thing though. And this is what we were saying earlier about Jay and Jimmy, right? So the stipulation is, if Rhodes and Rollins win, all members of the Bloodline will be barred from ringside. So Jay obviously isn't one of the Bloodline.
Yeah.
So, you know, Sami Zayn isn't one of the Bloodline. So you could bring in anyone who suddenly joins the Bloodline. Rikishi could turn up. You know, I'm annoyed that Rikishi hasn't been part of this. Exactly.
Naomi, not Naomi, Nia Jax.
Nia Jax, yeah, and Naomi. Also, right, hang on a second, right? I know we haven't gone to the Hall of Fame again. Now The Rock is inducting his mum. His daughter was made NXT general manager. His mum's being inducted. He and his whole family are in every match. Grandmother, whatever, right? It's like, it is literally, like, maybe it's like, oh, well, I'm a heel, I'm doing all these things. But he has stepped into Vince McMahon's shoes and is literally becoming Vince McMahon.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is the ring from Lord of the Rings. Once you get that power, it goes to your head instantly.
It always does.
Yeah, like The Rock, like literally, he's been in it for, like, he was in power. Like, he was like, oh, he's joined the board of directors. The next day, Vince McMahon's character was assassinated to the point that he's now out of the picture. The next week, suddenly, The Rock is main eventing Mania when for no reason, and his daughter is now the general manager, and now he's main eventing him and his family in like every single match at Mania, and his grandmother's being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, I was going to say no, it hasn't been involved yet. That's true.
Well, that's fair, but you know, but still, Jimmy J, main event night 1, main event night 2, you know, it's a lot. Okay, so who are we saying? Let's give predictions, because guys, we've been going an hour. I don't know how long you guys can go for, but we are actually only halfway through this, halfway through the WrestleMania card. So we can pick up pace a little bit, but like if people need to bounce, give the warning just so we can rattle through. But Rock and Roman, Cody, and Seth, I am saying 100%.
David, we should do a Slam Jam night 2.
We should do. At one point we will. At one point we will. Right, but I'm saying Rock and Roman 100% are winning that. They have to win it, otherwise it's just not interesting going into night 2. You have to... Well, so many people have said this is the Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, to the point that Rock's new entrance, which is amazing, by the way, is literally just Thanos walking out of, like, the time portal or whatever. He just appears out of lightning. And so it has to end with the Bloodline winning. You have to really stack everything against Cody so that Cody's win is even bigger. But night 2, Vince McMahon gets cleared, comes back, and suddenly...
I was just about to tell you that.
Really?
You read my mind.
Yeah.
It's like, just yesterday, I saw something saying that that's the same girl, Janelle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They actually found evidence of her writing love letters to Vince.
Oh my gosh.
I saw.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I actually read the entire letter, and oh my god, it has a lot of details in it, and it just feels very like written from the bottom of her heart. You know, there's no malice over there. It just, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. It was such a beautiful letter. Believe me, I should go and read it. And
Let's park this. Right.
I was
Okay.
just saying that there might be a chance of seeing Vince.
No,
But,
there's not. No, there isn't.
Wow.
no, there is no chance.
There's no chance in doing that. Not a chance. They can't.
Literally, if somehow, let me just say this: whether he was.
I'm not comfortable with that.
No, okay. Well, I'll move on, Dave. I'll move on. That's cool. Right. All I would say is it's not his company anymore. He sold it. I was going to say, even if whatever happens with court cases, why would they bring him back? They don't need to. It's not his company anymore. Right, let's move on. So, I'm saying The Rock and Roman wins. Dave, who have you got?
Rock and Roman, the same races.
Gav?
It's the most interesting scenario.
Assad?
I mean, the thing that I said, but yeah, it makes so much more sense to have Rock and Roman Reigns win. So I'm going to go with that one as well. Also, I feel that it's going to be like a big, main event, kind of a huge feel. It's going to be even better than the tag team match from last year. You know, with the crazy near falls and the crowd going absolutely crazy about the whole thing. I think it's going to be somewhere around those lines. Sami Zayn and Owens versus the Usos.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be something as big as that. Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be that good a match itself. I just think it's going to be like Mania 18 Hogan Rock sort of.
Yeah, I think you're exactly
That's
right.
what it's going to be. Because the thing about that match wasn't actually that good. But it was the crowd
What?
that made it, so it was more that way.
I know what you mean, but that match was amazing. You didn't need it to be good.
Match
Because of
with
the crowd
the
reaction.
volume down.
Yeah.
Watch the match with the volume down.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Hogan has an offensive move. Hogan does a schoolboy roll-up as an offensive move at one point. That's how bad it was. So anyway.
Okay, right, so, night 2. We have made it. Like, I'm exhausted. We're only halfway through this. Right, okay. Seth versus Drew is the first match listed on the card. Wouldn't surprise me if it is the opening match. Just because it kind of needs to be. I'm saying CM Punk is going to walk out as world champion. That is my only prediction on this. I'm not predicting either Seth or Drew to win.
Do you think like he
But
could
then
do?
if that's going to
like-
happen, if that's going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen at the top of the show.
Well,
think
they're not
they
going
could
to
do a
bump
thing?
Roman and Cody, are they?
Yeah, I know they're not going to do that for sure. But I think that CM Punk is going to open the show. He's going to make the crowd go crazy and go on commentary. And then Drew is not going to focus on his match entirely. He's going to be focused on Punk instead. You're consistently landing a punch on Seth and talking trash to Punk. So that's what's going to happen. And then somehow Punk is going to get involved. Maybe there's going to be a table spot, and then somehow. But for sure, Drew McIntyre is going to win, and he's going to use that title and his win to be an even bigger dick and even bigger hater.
Yeah?
What I was going to say was that if you're going with your theory, David, and Punk getting involved, is it going to be a case of Drew wins and then he does a Mr. Fuji and challenges Punk to go on for it?
Yes! I'm for this.
Sketchy goes over to Punk, goes, go on, do it, as he's silly, like swinging his eye, go on, go do it. Punk goes in there and wins it like Hogan did it.
Yes. That's, well, like, obviously a couple of months ago, I was saying that they needed that for, like, Cody and The Rock and stuff like this. The Mr. Fuji WrestleMania 9 finish will work at every Mania. I would have a version of it.
And instead of Hogan going like that, showing his black eye,
Yeah.
be Punk going,
Yeah, they all way. Okay, but
I think more likely one is Drew wins and David Reeves catches him.
or wait for it, guys. Punk is injured. His elbow, it gives in. Hogan runs down to check on his friend. Okay.
Oh my God, what if Punk never got injured in the first place, and he reveals his elbow to be perfectly okay, and he joins the match and it's a triple threat match?
That would be awful.
walked
I'm not
out.
going to lie. Why do that? If he was never
Because
injured.
there's no space for him in the main event.
Yes, there was. Like, literally, until he got injured, it was going to be Seth and Punk night 1, Cody and Roman night 2.
Yeah, but that's not really the main event, is it?
But that's what it was going to be.
Yeah, main event of night 1. I would say main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania is main eventing WrestleMania.
yeah.
Because you can't just end a show like halfway through. It is just 2 separate shows now.
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, if you was to buy the pay-per-view, do you get it under one payment? So, you bought night 1, does night 2 come with it, or?
I've no idea.
You buy now, is it? I think it's all just on Peacock, isn't it?
I think it comes with it.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
I mean, for the UK, like, on, not BT Sport, Paramount.
I don't know. I don't know, actually.
Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
there may be an option to split the cost. Maybe only buy night one, or maybe even buy night two.
Yeah.
Either of them. Yeah.
Okay, but what's anyone else saying? So, Dave, did you say who said that Damian Priest is walking out as champion?
Yeah, me.
Okay, Gav, you agree with that, or?
But not necessarily that title.
Oh my god, that would be the worst finish for Mania imaginable. Right, okay, so for Seth versus Drew, who actually wins that, Dave? Drew. So it's not going to be Damian adding himself to the match like Seth did.
Seth is losing the title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Assad?
Yeah, Drew is winning, yeah, for sure.
I think Drew deserves to win. He's been outside of like Roman and The Rock. Not Roman, Rock and Cody. Like that storyline. What Drew is doing is the most interesting.
He's been the best character on TV for a while now.
Yeah, but the sad
Don't
thing is
film
that
up my kilt, you perv. Yeah, I just love it. You know, it's just such good stuff. Such good stuff.
The sad thing is that it feels as if Drew is not even really a part of his own match. That's the sad thing about that.
Drew isn't
What's
part
not
of his own.
stream?
What,
Yeah, Drew
Gav?
doesn't feel like he's a part of his own match.
I think Drew does. I just think Seth doesn't.
What just got announced?
Tell me.
Clash at the Castle.
Oh yeah, yes.
Oh,
Scotland, and they used the exact same image of Drew as they did on the last poster.
yeah,
I swear, it's not even a different image.
he's got to win.
Well, but okay, so they've one of the big things that finally this seemingly puts to bed is if Drew McIntyre is re-signing with the company, because that isn't until June 15th, I think. And so if Drew is scheduled for that, because people will say, oh, he may not have re-signed with the company around Royal Rumble time. Like if they're having him clash at the Castle, clearly he's winning the world title. Clearly he's main eventing Clash at the Castle too. You know, so it looks like, why would Drew consider going to AEW at this point? I think that'd be insanity. Because he when he left before or was fired, whatever the case was, and then Drew Galloway and all of this stuff to build himself up, it was to come back to WWE. And, you know, he then took a couple of years, became world champion, pandemic happened, and it may have looked like, oh, time has passed him by. But just looking at Edge going to AEW, not much audience, he's now managed to make himself interesting again. You know, he's heated himself up massively. I think Drew would be crazy to be anywhere else.
Definitely agree.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on from this. Io Sky and Bailey. Bailey. Oh.
Who's Io Sky?
Any other thoughts, guys?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. Like I said earlier, the story I think peaked a little bit too early. That's why probably there's not as much interest in it. But it's a bit of a shame that Bailey's not still not being seen as like the main event sort of situation, because it's not the Rumble winner, not main eventing. But I think the story really has to be Bailey winning.
Yeah.
Getting a Mania moment.
Yeah, I think he is the only So there were 4 horsewomen, right?
Yes.
I think Bailey was part of it, right?
Yeah, they've all had like moments, I think.
Yeah, they've all had moments and main events and accomplishments, like, you know, they've done Hell in a Cell and, you know, WrestleMania, then Rumble, etc. And Bailey was the only one who was lacking. So I think a Rumble win and a WrestleMania win is going to, you know, do a lot of great things for her.
I was going to say, history tells us that Bailey's going to win. But what if this kind of makes Io star power rises a little bit?
I don't think it. I don't think it will. Like, I like Io Sky, but the unfortunate thing is that I think in 5 years' time she might still be with WWE or she might not. But I don't think people are going to be talking about her world title match at WrestleMania kind of stuff.
No.
You know,
Plus, she hasn't really been like wrestling that much either. So.
Yeah. Okay, moving on from this, we have L.A. Knight. Yeah, there we go. Against AJ Styles. I think this is going to be the disappointing match of the card.
Really?
Yeah. I think AJ Styles is really good, but he's not getting any younger. And I think LA Knight has cooled off significantly compared to a few months ago. And so I think this match will be fine. I think it will last 11 minutes. And I think we'll cheer in the right places and boo in the right places, and then we'll forget it's happened.
Probably.
I don't think this is stealing. I don't think it's stealing the show, and I don't think it's going to elevate either of them.
Do you know what? It kind of reminds me of like that match with AJ and Seth for the inaugural
World title.
World title.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was excited for that match, and just didn't. It was all right, but it didn't stick out to me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the weird thing then is obviously like AJ had come back, and I was like, what? How is AJ like going to be potentially the world champion? It's like he's kind of been. Yeah. Obviously, he'd been off, but he'd kind of been like, just like, oh yeah, AJ, we like AJ, but they weren't doing anything good with him.
Yeah.
And I just think that AJ versus LA Knight is two people that are kind of be stuck under the main event. Oh, we need someone for a main event for a pay-per-view. Yeah. It could be one of these two guys, but we're not going to give the belt to either one. The only chance LA Knight has got of becoming a world champion in WWE is if he switches rosters. He is not getting the title that Roman or Cody will have. Not going to happen.
Does he have to be a world champion? Because I had him pegged as the guy to beat Logan Paul for the US title.
Ugh. I think he'll be massively disappointed, understandably, if in 5 years' time and he's beginning to wind things down in TNA, if he was never a world champion in WWE. And he came much further and closer to it than he really had any right to. But yeah, I don't know. He needs to try to win a world title to justify his career. Otherwise, I think he's going to be up there with Jack Swagger on the Indies.
He was the Impact World Champion.
Sorry?
He was Impact World Champion.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Was it even Impact at the time, or was it like Global Force Wrestling or something?
I think it was Impact. But...
Yeah.
But it wasn't LA Knight. It was Eli Drake.
Yeah.
Well, same person, but yeah.
If he goes, he could be Eli Drake in AEW, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, because if he has to like change his name again, he's like the king of 3 syllables. Like Max Dupree, LA Knight, Eli Drake, etc. Okay, I'm saying LA Knight is winning that. David Green, yeah. Okay, David Green. Who are you saying?
Yeah.
No. I'm saying AJ. I'm going with AJ to win on this one.
Wow. This is.
Like you said, I think I agree with you. I think it's probably going to be an long match. It's going to be like one of those ones you go, okay, guys, just finish, please. And AJ will do a low blow or something like that to get a cheeky win.
Wow.
Like I said, Steam seems to run out on the night train at the moment, and I think they could easily. What's the pay-per-view after this one? PLE, sorry. What's the PLE after?
Oh.
Is it WrestleMania Backlash?
Yeah, they could do a gimmick match there and have LA Knight win there.
Any French people?
Any French people?
In WWE.
Is La Resistance still around? Oh, what? Why? Oh, is it in France?
Yeah, it's in France.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, like, I couldn't have told you it was that, but I know that they announced pay-per-views. Oh, yeah, Backlash France. Oh, my God. It's literally called Backlash France.
Have LA Knight win there, because then they could do the whole LA Knight
Oh, my God. The we movement. How come that has never happened? Like, okay, so after that, then it's Clash at the Castle Scotland, and then it's Bash in Berlin. So literally, America is going like 4 months in between WWE pay-per-views.
Can you believe they're not more about the European title? Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened, it might be dead in the water now, but NXT UK was going to become NXT Europe, and it never has.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
What a shame. What a shame. Okay, so Assad, did you predict LA Knight and AJ?
I think it's gonna be LA Knight. Winning. He's quite over with the fans, and I think they should give the win to him. I don't know if this feud is gonna last long, or should it last long at all. And there's no payoff to it anyway. So, like you said, he's not getting any younger. So might as well hand the win to him, and then Styles can, move on to doing other things.
Yeah. Okay, then we have Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, triple threat for the United States Championship.
Oh, for sure, I think Logan Paul retains.
I was going to say, normally that's the rule.
That's the rule, yeah.
Or if it's two faces with a heel champion, the heel champion usually wins.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, before they ruined this match by putting Kevin Owens in it, I would say that Randy Orton needed this win. But I kind of agree. Two faces, Logan Paul kind of should win this here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you,
then
going by
we'll probably have like Randy and Kevin falling out, and then they can have a feud, and then LA Knight and then Logan.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave, what's your thoughts?
I've lost interest in this sort of match when it's all announced. Really.
I was gonna, you don't suddenly sit there and be like, I've lost interest in the show, David. I haven't been listening.
Oh, not this one. No. Match. No,
Yeah.
that's like I say, it's so many matches in this one. I can't give. So really, AJ Styles not that interested in it, and neither am I. So it's the SmackDown one, only because I've not managed to watch a lot of SmackDown.
Okay.
So I think that's probably why I'm not as hyped for some of these. But I think, like you say, I don't really see why Orton or Owens need the US title. You know what I mean?
Well, after Elimination Chamber, Randy Orton versus Logan Paul made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Crowbarring in Kevin Owens is just Kevin Owens being like, look, I don't have 2 years ago I wrestled Steve Austin. Last year I was the third wheel in Sami Zayn's feud. What am I doing this year? Right.
Third wheel in this one.
Yeah, exactly. He was the king of night 2, because he was the first person, night 1 rather. He was the first person to main event 2 consecutive night 1 WrestleManias. And now, he's just the king of third wheels. But one thing that's worth mentioning on the Logan Paul front is this pay-per-view, this PLE, will have Prime in the centre of the ring. The whole time, every photograph, every shot of WrestleMania, you're going to see a Prime logo. Now, I don't know what...
Wait, that's throughout the show?
Throughout the whole show, it's going to be centre of the ring.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
I know. Now, just on that, if you hadn't heard this, Assad, like, they'd said that during, Vince McMahon being in charge, he'd always said that the centre of the ring as advertising space is off limits. Yeah. You can have, like, WrestleMania sponsored by Snickers and you'll have it on the edge of that, but they'd never gone with it. But if you watch UFC, obviously they've got, like, Monster Energy in this in the middle of the octagon, and like 12 other things. I'll try to bring up a UFC ring. But they're always covered in... No,
I get it, but I just don't understand why it has to be Prime. And why it has to be so in my face. Like, everyone, even the bloodiest, even the most intense feuds are gonna look like idiots. Doing all these things right over that Prime Energy drink logo.
So they're going, everyone's watching it going, I can't wait for Rock and Roman to beat Seth and Cody. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Anyone else thirsty?
Well, I mean, it's like, how much does it cost? Like, I don't know how much it costs in UFC, but again, as only someone who takes somewhat of an interest in UFC, compared to, like, I'll go back and watch old wrestling. Like... And occasionally I've been like, I've heard about someone in UFC and I'll look something up on YouTube. But I don't think people perhaps watch old... Because it's not storylines. Like, wrestling is storylines. But, like, just seeing this all over the ring, that's what WWE is going to be like within 2 years.
Wasn't there a thing, I think, that someone I can't remember, it might have been put in the group chat, I'm not sure, but I saw a thing the other week saying that if this match is opens night 2 or opens whatever night it's on, then there could be a spot where Orton and Owens send people out of the ring about to fight, but then they look down at the Prime logo, look at each other, and tear the Prime logo off the canvas.
Oh, well, it's what during Logan's match.
Yeah, during their match.
Oh, I don't know.
By the way, did you guys hear about this? Like, the parent company of like the Endeavor Holdings, that company got sold.
Of who?
That company got sold.
Sorry, I missed. Of what company?
So there's TKO, right, which forms like with WWE and UFC, and there's a TKO.
Yeah.
And the parent company is like Endeavor Holdings, right? So like Endeavor got sold to another company.
That's right, yeah, something Endeavor, isn't it? Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
WWE's been sold again, and I missed this.
No, part of the Endeavor group has left.
Yeah, so the parent company got sold and it's gone private now, and some technology company bought it up.
Wow.
That's right, yeah.
No, I knew nothing of this. Yeah. Okay, so that brings us.
It does not affect anything with WWE or TKO.
So we're all picking Logan Paul, though, yeah?
Yeah, I'm picking Logan.
Yeah.
I would pick Orton if it was a one-on-one, but otherwise, I think like where does Randy go with the US title? Like Randy could easily go back in the hunt for the world title. Owens doesn't need this US title, so yeah. Okay, we have The Pride, Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford versus The Final Testament, Karrion Kross, Akam, and Razor, aka this is the piss break match, guys. This is the piss break.
2-minute match.
The authors of Pain are back in WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? And does that mean Paul Ellering is back as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Final Reckoning are
I
Karrion
swear to
Kross.
God, swear to God, I saw them last week in AEW. I swear to God.
No. But yeah, so but this is a Philadelphia street fight.
Wow, what's that?
It's a Bloodline rules
It's a
match.
bloodline rules match.
It's basically the excuse to bring out kendo sticks and chairs and tables and various spots and all that sort of stuff. It's all going to be the same sort of stuff as the old
Stadium
time.
stampede.
Like Kev says, hopefully 2 to 5 minute match. And last week.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like, who's going to win though? The Final Testament, like they're not even really established as a thing. If they lose, then who cares?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Who cares about this match?
No one.
Yeah.
No one cares about it.
I feel so sorry though. Like, obviously, look, Dawkins and Ford have been around a while, right? And they've never really got like people like them and everything like this. But they're another tag team. They're used. They're not used. They're used. They're not used. And now they've been repackaged with Lashley, who a couple of years ago was against McIntyre for the world title, and then last year. Obviously, Bray Wyatt was sick, but he lost his Mania match as a result of that, and he's been floating ever since, basically.
Well, this whole stable's been poorly booked from the start because they brought him in as his backup for was it a feud against LWO, and the match that Carlito debuted as a surprise and helped win against Lashley and his Profits, and since then they've just been like. I don't know what they've been doing. They've been floating around, and they brought in Cross and company to sort of feud with them for some reason. And it's just been really dull. This whole thing. At no point, apart from a few like beatdowns and things like that, at no point have I actually seen this Testament group actually seem like a threat. At any point, they've always sort of lost their matches. And
I cannot stand Karrion Kross. I never could.
I'm the same.
When it was like him in NXT and he was like, he's defeating Finn Balor. I was like, this isn't the guy. And then he was brought out as what was he brought out as not a Viking, a Roman or something.
Gimp.
A gimp, yeah. Like, and then he control his narrative for a while.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm saying that.
My question is, if you guys are saying that obviously guys like Bobby Lashley have been doing this and that for the last 2 years, and Kevin Owens was doing this and now he's doing obviously nothing. So like, what else do you expect when you have long title reigns? Take Roman Reigns for example, and take Gunther for example. I mean, not even Gunther, just take Roman Reigns for example. How else do you overcome this problem of guys not being used, or I don't they don't have anything to do when there is not a championship available to do anything?
It's putting them against people that are interested. I was not interested in carrying Cross, like you said. I certainly wasn't interested in Authors of Pain coming back. There was no interest there at all. I think they could have easily done this sort of thing with other people on the brand, or other people on the roster. There's people that are in this battle royal that haven't been around for absolutely ages. That suddenly they're again. You're like, oh, I thought they'd stopped using them. Okay, cool, they're back. And they've got the resources to go back to fish into and pull out and have like credible, interesting stories and things like that. It's just this one particular. It's not saying completely see what you're saying, that you can't have everybody on top all the time. Of course not. But it's just who you end up putting together and with and against who. And this view particularly has it's been dead in the water since it started.
Yeah. Do you actually, just mentioning long title reigns, I realised we skipped over Sammy and Gunther on night one. We'll come back to that next. But we did skip over that. But go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, the only interesting, like, what are they called again?
The final countdown. Da-da-da.
Whatever they're called.
The final testament of the Viking.
Yeah.
The most interesting part of them is Scarlett and Paul Henry.
Yeah.
That's by default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they need to win if they're going to ever do anything with that faction. But realistically, Street Profits, Lashley, they just need to be... They literally just need to be like, no, we're winning. We're winning.
They should just put, Paul Ellering back into a shark cage and, hoist him up above. And I think that's going to be the best booking for this match.
Yeah. I don't know.
And afterwards, the Street Profits and Lashley need to split up as well. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, look, Lashley, you can have him as a heel or as a face. He's much better as a face, though, frankly. Unless you're gonna, there's no way to keep, bringing back MVP and Shelton's gone now. That had real momentum for a while, and they blew it basically. But that was the best way to use Lashley because he's not strong on the mic, But MVP, that was a great role for him to sort of like still be physical at times, but also he's going to walk out there with a cane and he'll be this manager. And yeah, they kind of blew it on that. I think what you can do with someone like Lashley now is you can still move him into a world title feud, keep him credible, have him beat a load of people. And, well, in fact, I remember a couple of years ago when they'd got Goldberg in there, and they were like, well, what's happening with Goldberg if he's keeping wrestling? Is they said that, well, like, every so often Goldberg would come in, he'd dominate over people, and then you could occasionally move him into the world title picture. You can start doing that with someone like Lashley. You can kind of do that with someone like Kevin Owens, where you just need to make it like when other people are playing up, these guys suddenly step in because it means something to them, and then they get a feud, they put someone in their place, and then always they're just sort of like, but I'm always keeping the world title like in my watch. Because like when was the last time Kevin Owens was world champion anyway? Was that when he lost it to Goldberg?
Goldberg, yeah.
Yeah, like it's a long time ago. Lashley, crazily, was world champion literally just before everything with Brock going into Roman, and that's how come the titles ended up like unified. So it's just crazy how like time has flown past that. Okay, let's very quickly come back to Gunther and Sami Zayn. Because I do not want Sammy to win this.
No.
Sammy Mania was so last year to me. I don't want Chad Gable to be a part of this and win this. Now, it was cool that Chad suddenly got out of his ridiculous shoosh tag team to get like a serious match, and he's a really good wrestler, but he's not Gunther. And I just don't want... I want Gunther to remain Intercontinental Champion until he's going to move into the world title picture. And if they're not going to do that immediately, then Gunther should hold on to that title.
Might I ask, when exactly is this match? Like, how far down the card?
It's on night one. We'd skipped over it, yeah.
Where exactly in the middle of the card?
Semi-main, I think, that's what the spoiler listing is saying.
So I think it's going to be an absolutely incredible match. I think it's going to be a like 4.5 stars and above, that level kind of a thing. And I think Walter is going to win, and I think he's going to go on to Berlin as well. So there's no way that Sami is winning. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a really good point. Gunther isn't actually German, though. I don't know how much that matters, because obviously it was on that scene where he was obviously a big deal.
Yeah, Germany's obviously his main wrestling hole.
Yeah.
WWE and all that stuff.
But his name is Gunther, right?
Yeah.
Gunther, yeah.
But
yeah, so that's enough Germany for him.
yeah. Right, okay, good. Who is Team Sami? Who thinks Sami is winning this?
It could go either way. I could see him winning just because of the whole sort of Chad Gable training sort of situation, but I could also see a situation where they have him win, and maybe on night 2 there's a situation where Gunther gets overconfident and says, Gable, you wanted your WrestleMania match, come on, let's do it.
What, with Chad?
Yeah, and then Chad wins it the next night or something.
I'm not against that.
Because I think that's what people are wanting. I think I said we were going to talk about this before we went on air, weren't we? About this whole situation. Gable, because they had the gauntlet match, and Gable and Sami had wrestled 2 matches. Gable was his last opponent, and he just got like a roll up to win. And Gable basically told Sami, "I don't think you can beat him," and all this sort of stuff unless you train with me. I'll train you to win, and all this sort of stuff. So Gunther's been really dominant in the lead up with everything, and so there's a chance he could win it. And no, I'm not going to say that I'm saying that the 2 people are the same people, but I do remember a match in Germany before, which a guy called Volta, who may or may not be Gunther, and a masked luchador guy called El Generico, who's very similar in appearance and style to Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn took a lot of influence from him, but Generico did beat Gunther for the Walter for the WWE a number of years ago, so they did have history outside of that. But of course, 2 different people, Sami Zayn and El Generico. Definitely.
Okay, alternative theory. Gunther beats Sami Zayn. Chad Gable is down at his friend Sami. Mr. Fuji comes out.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. It's gonna be that situation.
Okay, I'm saying Gunther to win because I think Gunther needs to win. He could lose and then go on to challenge Cody or whoever. But I feel like there's too much, like, unless The Rock is literally pissing off immediately after this, there is too much in that whole bloodline. Rock, Roman, Cody, even like CM Punk could get, like, he already teased a week ago about The Rock, and I'm sure I'll meet Roman Reigns and all that. It feels like if Gunther is going to suddenly try to slot in there, it'll be ill-advised timing. He should hold on to that title. Go on, Gav.
Right, now, cast your mind back. Undertaker.
Giant Gonzalez. No, go on. Right.
Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing.
Ooh.
The reason why I say that, Jake the Snake Roberts was training the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, okay.
The Undertaker. I'm just seeing this story rehashed.
I mean, it could be.
So you guys said that Chad Gable's going to lead Sami Zayn to a pit of snakes, and one of them like
Yeah.
Volta just blurry looking over it.
Yeah,
So-
I think this is where you get the heel turn.
What's Chad Gable like as a heel, though? Like, we've seen him as... Shoosh!
I don't think I see the sort of idea, but I don't know. I think there is a crowd who's invested in Gable winning the title from that whole thing they did last year. So, yeah.
But this is the same crowd that were invested in Sami defeating Roman, and now literally the story was that when they didn't want Sami to win, he was so pissed off. He's like, I thought they wanted me, and he had to learn that the internet audience, or the flavour of the month, the LA Night audience, they quickly go cold. They quickly go cold. Okay, finally, this brings us to Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
Oh, what, this is the last one? Oh, wow.
It is. It is the last one. We will wrap this up soon, I promise you guys.
Oh, God's sake. Cody's got to finish the story, surely. Just so I can stop him saying, so we can stop hearing him saying, finish my story. Because that's been driving me mad for the last 2 years.
The Iron Claw. What? Von Erich. Right.
The Von Erich. Yeah. Now, I'm going to take it back a little. This all started when Cody was in AEW.
Yeah.
Who was the one that was actually supposed to defeat Roman at this point? Who do you think it would have been? It would be Cody, would it?
Well, okay, so when Cody was in AEW, Roman was already
I think it
world
was The
champ.
Rock. I think it was The Rock.
Yeah, probably.
I think so.
I think you're right, Assad.
Yeah.
It would have been The Rock.
So, is it now that, because this has all been going on for so long, is it a case where we just knight someone from AEW with this title? Like, after all of this, why is it him? Like, why wouldn't it have been Sami last year or whatever?
It was never going to be Sami.
The crowd are invested.
Oh,
Like, Sami versus Roman was the first time Sami ever got a world title shot in a pay-per-view, I think.
what I want to know is, why does everyone want Cody to finish his story when there's other stories as well?
Yeah, but he's the only one that keeps saying, look, it's my story. It's
Yeah,
my story.
true.
It's my story.
I have a story as well, but nobody gives a fuck about it.
But my
Assad,
story
I
for
want you
Cody
to
now-
finish your story.
Yeah.
Let me finish this story, because I think I said it on here before. Dusty held that title for seconds.
Yeah.
This is where Damian Priest cashes in. If Cody wins, I expect Damian Priest to cash in.
They can't literally
He'll
do...
start a story.
Oh my god. What? So...
Look, I think it's WrestleMania 40. It's a big show, and it's a round figure WrestleMania. Okay, if you go back to all the round figure WrestleManias 10, 20, 30, they've all had nice babyface wins, and it's not left a bad taste in anyone's mouth. So Damian Priest,
Not 20.
Damian
Yeah.
Priest catching in
Not at the time.
leave a bad taste.
Yeah. No, but like, you do bring up like a good point. Now, obviously, like, and I've pointed this out before. WrestleMania 10, we ended up with Bret Hart as the world champion, and that weirdly was like the weird Lex Luger, Bret Hart, oh, what's the world title match going to be kind of thing. Then WrestleMania 20. Benoit won the Royal Rumble. Somehow Shawn Michaels ended up with it, just because there wasn't quite the faith in the other guy.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan ends up with it. They always have the good wrestler as the winner in a main event where the company kind of didn't have full faith in that wrestler to be there. Every 10 years.
So you're saying Chad Gable is going to win the main event of this?
Mr. Fuji runs down. No, Hogan is walking out as champion. Right, okay, let's give our predictions, because we will wrap this, and we will give any final thoughts of anything important we've missed. But I am saying Cody finishes his story, as much as I don't want him to. Right, I do want him
What's the
to.
point of saying all of this without actually telling us how it's going to happen? So I think we should predict how exactly things are going to go down.
You're the one that wanted to wrap up, Assad. I'm trying to be respectful of you here. Right, okay, fine. I'll tell you. Okay, so I think the way it's going to happen, that's a good question. I think Cody is going to... I think you're going to have Cena. I think you're going to have Austin, I think Jimmy and Jay. I think by the end of this, like, there's going to be everyone involved. It is going to be the Avengers Endgame.
Where exactly do Cena and Austin fit in?
Why were them on a truck?
Yeah, because they were on a truck. But also, it's WrestleMania 40, so
Yeah, everyone's got to be there.
so. But like John Cena lost to Solo, so Jimmy and Jay will come out and they'll fight. Solo will be there, and Cena will turn up and have his thing with Solo. Rock will be there, and Austin's going to come out. Everyone's got their and then Cody will have Roman. The only question is, will Jim Cornette come out to face off with Paul Heyman? Dangerous Alliance. Yeah.
Vince Russo.
Vince Russo. Yeah. Jim Cornette runs out to attack Heyman. Vince Russo tackles him down the aisle.
Wasn't it like when Theory tried to cash in and Tyson Fury was there to stop him?
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Okay, so that's my prediction. It is going to end up involving everyone. At the end of WrestleMania, you're going to have Cody stood there with the title. Dustin Rhodes is going to be on screen at some point. That's my other prediction. Dustin Rhodes will be visibly on screen.
Not after this week.
Brandy will be in the ring. What happened this week with Dustin?
No, I'm just talking about AEW. I want there to on WWE TV.
Yeah. Brandy will be in some kind of capacity.
Cody's going to be in the ring like this, and suddenly in front of the hard camera, Brandy is just going to come up like this, just to be on screen. You know. Oh wow, crazy stuff.
Carrying Cross.
Yeah.
Carrying Cross.
Now, what do you?
The image, the camera vision.
I forgot who was going to speak next. Gav, tell us things.
Roman, baby. I want Roman to win.
No.
I want Roman to win.
Yeah. Well, look, now there is legitimate reason for Hogan coming out. He doesn't want Roman to beat his record.
True.
Yeah, they're going to do this. Like, the video game was all about Hulk Hogan and Steve Austin saying about, well, I finished my story. You know, I started the story, brother. So literally, Hogan will be there backstage being interviewed. The audience will be booing him. Paul Heyman's going to come up to him and give something, and Hogan will be the one to attack Heyman. So you're going to end up with Cody, Hogan, Rock, Austin, and Cena in the ring.
Do you know what? 20, Triple H won.
Yes.
It was a heel win, wasn't it?
Wait, no, Benoit won at 20.
No.
What?
Benoit won.
Sorry. Yeah, 16.
He made Triple H tap out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we forget about 20.
Holy shit, WrestleMania 20 was 20 years ago, guys.
Yeah, WrestleMania 20 was 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The heel's winning this year.
Oh, heels winning this year. Okay.
It might be Damien Priest.
Assad.
So I'm gonna be a lot more realistic and be on the ground here instead of just tolerating you guys. Fantasy book the shit. Cena and Hogan and Heyman and all these people getting involved somehow. I think on night one, Mama Rhodes is gonna be ringside and she's gonna watch her son being absolutely butchered, and it's gonna transition onto night 2 as well. And somehow, some way, I think Mama Rhodes is going to be involved. Somehow, I don't know, I'm not sure. Obviously not in the ring, but she's going to be part of the finish, is what I feel. Maybe a slap is on the way.
Like, how old is Mama Rhodes these days? Like,
80?
Actually? No, she can't be. How old would have Dusty been?
Dusty would have been 90 today.
Dusty would have been 90 years old. Are you serious?
Of course.
I was going to say,
No?
not at all.
Okay, Dusty Rhodes. Like, he was like 60-something when he died.
He was 67 or something like
60, he was 69 in shit. What year was that? 2015? Wow, he would have been in his late 70s. How about that?
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yes, and Cody's mum is about 53 years older, I think, than him, so not that old.
Wait a minute, hang on. Wait, the whole bloodline thing. Brandy Rhodes' daughter-in-law, this is Dusty. I forgot. The Shockmaster is his brother-in-law, and Jerry Saggs is apparently his brother-in-law as well. Imagine Cody brings out his whole family. Do you remember, like, in AEW, Cody would come down the aisle with Dallas Page and Pharaoh, and they were all dressed in style, and MJF. You know, MJF will be at Mania. Another
I was
prediction.
just about to say.
Yeah.
The fact that you just said that Shockmaster is Cody's uncle. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
But imagine that. Everyone's out, everyone's down. Other people, a person up is Roman. Everyone's down. Austin's down. Cena's down. Rock's down. And the whole world lineup down. Cody's down. And things. And Michael Cole goes, "Oh my goodness, who could possibly come in to help Cody finish his story?" Hey!
Tugboat.
Runs down.
Yeah, I love that. Okay,
On a realistic level, who exactly is part of the Rhodes family? Like, who all are there in the family? Like, we have Dusty Rhodes, we have Mama Rhodes, we have
Dustin,
like Goldust and Cody, and we have Brandy. That's it, right?
And Pharaoh, and Jerry Saggs apparently. And Marlena's going to come back. She may be divorced, but Terry Reynolds. Was that
No
Gav?
Larry's going to be there. Pharaoh's there.
Yeah.
Larry and Pharaoh face off. Good lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no real bloodline over there. So
Well, The Rock doesn't have any real bloodline. It turns out The Rock's only family is that Nia Jax is his cousin.
And his daughter.
Oh, and Nia Jax is his cousin and his daughter. Right.
that is possible in the bloodline.
But like this whole thing, here is our that meme of The Rock. Here is our bloodline. It turns out it's just like they are related by blood oath, and it's like they're not family at all. They don't even know each other. Apparently, like, was it Roman and the Usos, or was it Roman and The Rock? Basically, didn't meet until they were teenagers.
Yeah.
Something like this.
Yeah. Also, I have a question. Okay. So The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Rikishi are cousins, right?
Yes.
So that means Roman Reigns is the uncle of the Usos.
I think he's the cousin, like second cousin, perhaps.
How exactly is that a cousin situation? If Roman Reigns and Rikishi are cousins,
then second
that
cousin.
means
No, I think that's
if they are cousins, it doesn't matter. If they are cousins, then the Usos will be their nephews.
No.
It doesn't matter what the Rock's family are.
So if Roman's brother had children, they would be his nephews or nieces. But if his cousin has children, that's second cousins.
Yeah, but then the cousins are from the same generation, right?
Yeah.
You can't have cousins across 2 or 3 generations, right?
Yeah. That's why they're called second cousins or third cousins.
No.
Yeah.
No, second cousins are like way off. As in, if your dad had a brother and if they had a cousin sister, that's your second cousin and third cousin.
If your dad's had a brother, it would be your uncle.
If your dad has a brother and that brother has children,
Tonight on Family Feud.
They're your first cousins.
Yeah.
No. So if your dad had a brother and the brother had kids, those kids are going to be your cousins, your first cousins.
Yeah, first cousin, yeah.
But if your dad had a brother and if he had a cousin brother, then those kids are going to be a second cousin.
What's a cousin brother?
You have a cousin brother.
A cousin brother is a brother who is not related to you directly. But
My only actual thoughts on this is that we're getting so wrapped up and confused on what a cousin is at the moment. And at the start of this, you wanted us to book WrestleMania 55. It's like it's taken us 2 hours. We can't even get to the end of this year's WrestleMania.
And about 20 minutes ago, you put in the group in the chat here, can we wrap up soon? 2 hours.
And you're like, no, Mr. Davidson, we must work this out. Who is a second cousin?
And also, I must say, the sentence that if your father had a cousin brother, that does sound like Hulk Hogan is saying this. Your father had a cousin brother, and your brother had a brother.
Yes, it makes sense. Right, okay.
Also a prediction, also an important prediction. I think The Rock is going to get busted wide open at WrestleMania. Wide open.
I don't know, he does a lot of movies these days.
Yeah, but that's just one little scratch. It's one little blade. What damage is it gonna do?
Well, fair. Right. Assad, did you actually pick a winner there?
Yeah, I think Roman is going to win.
Okay, Dave. It comes down to you. Cody. Okay, so we're split. The two Davids think that Cody is going to finish the story. Gavin, Assad.
But I also think that they have spent a really long time building this whole shit up. Okay, I mean they didn't do it last year, and if they were to not do it again, then people are gonna be like, "Fuck you! We are not gonna be on this ride with you again." They're not gonna, be as supportive as because last year when Cody Rhodes lost, everyone was like, "Oh my God, he's not gonna have this momentum again. He's not gonna be as over as he is right now." But turns out that he is more over, and people are crazy, and they even want to see this happen desperately now, especially after the Rumble win and the whole thing, happening again. So now
imagine if they left it another 2 years. Yeah. Like he's still got like another 3.5 years to get the overall record.
If Cody wins, what happens next?
Exactly. What do you do with that?
Well, they'll probably have Cody versus either Roman rematch, or they'll get to Cody versus The Rock. Either because look, Rock versus Roman. Who cares? People want Cody versus Rock. So
do that at SummerSlam, surely.
SummerSlam, or is that next year now? Because Rock will look at it and be like, they didn't want Roman versus me. They want Cody versus me. They could do that in a year's time. And along the way, SummerSlam, if they do this right, yeah, they could do something with Damian Priest, but if he shouldn't beat Cody for it. So they could have Gunther versus Cody at SummerSlam, and that would seem a credible threat. Imagine if Gunther was still Intercontinental Champion as well.
Also, just by the way, Roman Reigns has said that if Cody wins at WrestleMania, then he's done and he's out of here. Okay, that's what he said. So he's definitely not going for that immediate rubber match, invoking his rematch clause thing. He's not going to do that. I think he's going to go away. He's going to come back at the Rumble, win the Rumble, reverse the story and finish his own fucking story and get his revenge at WrestleMania 41, and Cody's going to win again. That's what I think.
All I've got to say about that, remember, Roman's a heel. He can say it and then not go through with it.
Did he say that on TV?
Yeah. Not on WWE TV though.
Well then, no, he didn't then. Right, yeah, he wouldn't be out on TV saying like, look, I'm going to retire. Because there was this whole thing, which I don't quite believe anyway.
At no point did he say that he's going to retire. He just insinuated. Plus his character is that he doesn't need this. Okay, he doesn't want to be here at any point. It's like he's doing us all a favor by being there. So the way he said it, that I'm done, I'm gonna go back to my fucking island of relevancy. I'm gonna go there and chill out over there. That's what he meant basically.
Yeah. Right. Well, guys, any final thoughts before we wrap?
Yeah. Cody Rhodes is gonna pull out a belt of his own. He's gonna say Mama Johnson, and he's gonna take Dwayne's blood and rub it all over that belt in front of Dwayne's mom.
Wow. Okay, Gav.
Do you know what? This might be a record.
What?
Slam Jam, 2 hours.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Slam Jam 2
At
hours.
this point, we will be going as long as WrestleMania.
Almost. 2 hours, and there's so much we didn't cover, so it just goes to show, a lot to cover. Right. Like literally not to get into any of it. But like this.
Oh yes, stand and deliver. So, what are your thoughts?
No, forget that. Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver, Dynamite, AEW. Chelsea Green apparently was kicked out of a hotel for they thought she was a hooker. This is crazy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's a true story.
Cody was crying again.
Cody was crying again. So much stuff. Okay, anyone else? Dave, any final thoughts?
You know what I think gonna win? Us, the fans.
Yeah.
Good. That was nice. Right, and for me, my final thought on this is Mr. Fuji is running out, baby. It's happening. Right, I think.
Hang on, we've had Mr. Fuji running out. We've had a
Chat.
Superstar Graham coming out.
Yeah.
Also, Dave, are you going to be watching WrestleMania live?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Probably not.
Oh God, not. Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I'll be up. Yeah.
And David?
Yeah, I'll be seeing most of it. If not, at some point I'll fall asleep in the middle of it. But otherwise,
Always that.
yeah. Wake up just for Roman stood there like I did last year.
No, I'll be watching it when I can and having the group chat on mute.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. How about you, Assad? Will you be watching?
Of course, live for sure. Live. As soon as I wake up and I touch my phone, spoilers all over the place. So I can't
you have
miss that.
to. You have to.
Yeah.
Every time, like, I don't watch a pay-per-view, it's like I'm transported back in time 30 years. So, you know, I have to watch the pay-per-views live. They get me like this every time.
Okay, one nice question for everyone. The worst thing that you have been spoiled for, that you absolutely hated. Like, why did I get that spoiler? I shouldn't have gotten that spoiler.
I think when Christopher Eccleston regenerated into David Tennant, Doctor Who, that was the worst spoiler.
I'm talking about wrestling.
I'm joking. Okay. I don't know, I'll think on that in a second. Gav, Dave, do you have one?
It wasn't the worst one of this world. I can't think of one, but I do remember you as that spoiling entering the Royal Rumble one.
Wow.
Oh, they spoke about it. I was like, oh, great.
What's the worst thing that Assad has spoiled for you guys?
I'm not spoiling anything. But for me, back in the day when the Shield was going strong, everyone was thinking, oh, who is gonna be the one who's gonna be the breakout star? Who's gonna go heel, etc., etc. And everyone automatically thought that it's gonna be Dean Ambrose. And then one day when I wake up, I see Triple H backstage with Seth Rollins. Like, oh fuck, Plan B. That shit got spoiled for me. And I'm like, oh my god, what a moment to be spoiled. So Rollins turning on the Shield, that was spoiled for me. And I hated it.
I can't think of a specific spoiler. Like, I remember when, like, ECW invaded WWE. Like, I read about it, because, like, back in those days, like, Raw would be on a Monday, and I don't even know if it was aired live. So I wouldn't see it until the Friday. And I came across, like, something on the internet at the time, and it was just like Rob Van Dam and Tommy Dreamer on Raw. I was like, oh, well, I can't wait to see this. But back in those days, everything got spoiled, so I don't know.
I was going to say, the only thing I could think of, and it was really bad, was I recorded it, and my video recorder didn't work. This is how long ago, this is back in the 90s. Over the Edge, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, wait, that's spoiler? That, because the news.
Do you know what? Like, I'll be honest, I would have hated to have just watched a recording of that, and then suddenly, I've only seen that show once, and that was about 10 years after it happened. I literally never watched that section of it. If I'd been watching that on a videotape the next day, I think that would have been awful.
Yeah, I'm kind of lucky it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
that's the first time I ever heard wrestling being mentioned on BBC News and the radio the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Looking up, like hearing it on my alarm. Anyway.
Yeah.
Just to bring the mood up a little bit, and maybe just a warning to people out there, and I've got it directly to you. Be careful when you're shaking people's hands, just so that you don't accidentally touch someone's sweatpants buttons. Okay?
Yeah.
Just be really careful about that.
Yeah.
Especially at the supermarket. Yeah.
Right. So we will give like our reaction to WrestleMania. Like, we'll try to do this next week, I'm sure. But there's going to be so much wrestling stuff happening in the next few days. It's going to be insane. What I'll say to the audience here, just as we begin to wrap things up, is keep an eye on all things Slam Jam and the YouTube channel and stuff like this, as I'll try to give lots more updates, and we'll do like some quick 5-minute reactions to stuff, just like we can post them or something. I don't know. That might be fun to do. But where can we find you, Dave?
Find me at Grino on X and David Anthony Green everywhere else. And also follow my improv group, LAPD Improv Police, on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, Gav.
Find me on X on the best Gav, and on here.
Okie dokie. Assad.
You can find me on Instagram, Asad Khan Comedy. That's ASSAD Khan and Comedy. To find a lot of non-comedy going on there, so you can find that.
Okay, fantastic. My name's David Pistansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Pistansky. Also go to www.xstreamed.tv, where you'll find all kinds of podcasts, videos, articles about all kinds of things: wrestling, video games, movies, improv, other pop culture stuff. And with that, keep slamming and jamming, you slam jam bronies. And until next time, stay safe, always stay extremed, and ciao for now.